Welcome back to the LaFrance Paradigm. We have a very special guest tonight. I'm your host, Robert LaFrance, and I have Miss Nicole Howell, the business launch ninja, on the LaFrance Paradigm today. I'm really excited to share with you what we're going to talk about. Nicole has a lot of experience, a lot of nuggets to share with you. She's actually a pretty badass person, so I'm really excited to introduce you to her, Miss Nicole Howell, the business launch ninja.
Hello, nice to meet everybody. Very happy to be here on your show.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here. What we wanted to talk about on the LaFrance Paradigm today is that we're going to be going more into why Miss Nicole Howell, partner with the Spark, aka Luminous Spark, is the business launch ninja and how she got into her position here. Nicole, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background and how you got here?
So, I have been in the design consumer products business for 13 years at least. And if you want to go way back,
Wait,
since I
wait,
was
wait, wait,
17.
wait, 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 wait. We forgot my microphone.
Oh, microphones! Oh, yeah. So, for the last 10 or 12, or since I was 17 years old, so many years, I've been in the consumer products business, either
What does that mean?
launching t-shirt companies, toys, blenders, toasters, irons, anything you want. If you sketch to shelf, and most of those shelves are Target, Walmart, a local comic book store near you.
Wait, so you designed toys and other cool products that everybody sees on major store shelves?
Mm-hmm. For a very
That's
long
pretty
time
cool.
now.
I bet that's really cool to be walking in some of these big stores and be like, "Oh, I made that, or I designed that, or I made the packaging." You know?
And for a long time, I could tell my mom to walk in, and if you flipped over an Oster blender box and went on the bottom on the initials, there's like 6 or 7 digits, and it says NH the date CS, which means creative services. That's how we tracked who was the last person who touched the product. And most of those products stay on shelf for about 3 years. So I was able to go in there and show my mom.
What? So if any of you have an Oster at your house in your kitchen and you see what she just said, NH something something 06,
It was
that's
me.
that's her blender. That's crazy. Awesome. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just gotta ask these things. Go ahead. So
uh,
you've been making toys and cool stuff for a long time.
yes.
All right. So what after that?
Well, actually, so I was in consumer goods, which was t-shirts, hats, and like consumer electronics. So that's the blenders and the irons and things I was telling you about. But I really wanted to be in the toy industry, and so I reached out and bothered, aka stalked, Sarah Ashelman, who was working at Play Along Toys. Well, they closed Play Along, and then they started a company called the Bridge Direct. One of the big accounts that they landed in their first year or two was the Justin Bieber dolls. So
What? That's crazy.
I was hired specifically to work on the Justin Bieber dolls and to help launch that. So I worked on the ones where he had molded hair, where he had rooted hair, where he was singing, where he was talking, everything about
What?
it.
That's pretty. So how? But I mean, how did you get into consumer goods?
Uh, I've kind of always been around it. My grandfather was a master craftsman and took me to a lot of craft shows. My mother works in trucking and transportation, so I'm used to seeing them move and get taken from a railroad station onto a shelf at a store. And
So what? Did you
then
know somebody and then you got a job, or did you go to art school?
I went to art school.
Okay.
And I got a graphic design degree when I should have gotten a communications degree. But all through art school, I had a lot of jobs, and a couple of them were at the school, and a couple of them weren't. So I started in the print service bureau era, or like area of the school, where I would rent out your film equipment, and I would also print anything from your college ID to your projects for school. And that just kind of spiraled out to me liking packaging and trying to figure out how stuff worked.
That's awesome. Awesome. What school did you go to?
I went to a couple. The second one I went to was the Art Institute of Washington, D.C.
Okay. Cool. What was the first one you went to?
Tidewater Community College, and I dropped out after 6 weeks.
Okay, I was like, what's the first one? Okay, cool. All right, sweet. So, all right, cool. Consumer goods. You went to school. This is all leading somewhere, right?
Yes. My second school, I switched to instead of being Washington D.C., I switched to go to school in South Florida, which was awesome, and they accepted me. While I was there, I was working at a skate park because I dig that, and it was totally like up my alley. They started to cut our hours, so I went up to the dean and said, "Look, I need an internship. I need something that's going to pay me within the field. What can you do?" And he hooked me up with one of his really good friends who owned a hat manufacturing company. So my first job in college was designing hats from scratch, every stitch, everything. We did it for Van Halen, Jimmy
What?
Buffett.
Van
Um,
Halen, not Van Hagar.
yeah, no, like the band. And then we also worked with NASCAR and some other places, and it kind of just spiraled from there. And that was my first like consumer goods where I got paid. And then they closed that company, and my guy that was teaching me, my internship mentor, brought me over to Jarden Consumer Solutions, which is where I got to Oster and Sunbeam and Margaritaville, and that's before Justin Bieber. So
Okay, cool. What'd you get out of that? What'd you like about that?
at wait, Justin Bieber or the hat place?
Yes.
Okay, the hat place, I had my first taste of international project management, dealing with China back and forth, also dealing with customs who wants to stab all of your boxes for some reason. I don't know why. So that started my project management and design career. I had a lot of interns that came after me that I trained. And then I learned how they ran their business top to bottom because there weren't that many of us there. So it was a really good learning experience.
Okay, cool. So what'd you do after that?
Then that was Jarden, that was Oster. There I learned what photography was, like food porn. So they would shoot these, they
I
would do
love
these
porn.
photo shoots.
Food porn.
Exactly. And essentially the rules are they only have to be like 80% real food. So it would be paint mixed with milk to make your cereal box packages. And
Oh,
then, for instance, on the front of a Mr. Coffee package, like it looks like there's like steam coming out from the coffee. That's all Photoshop. So I had to learn that. I had to learn how to read in like 12 different languages because sometimes the packaging was going internationally. Um, this is just a super cool place. I started at the bottom of the rung. They really enjoyed me there and put me in a lot of management classes. And I got to be on the board for QR codes, those little square guys that you can take a picture with and takes you to a video. Well, I walked up to the boss and the VP of marketing and said, I think this is really interesting. I'd really like to be in that meeting with the Microsoft representative who's trying to explained to us what QR codes were. So I was on the board of a Fortune 100 company making decisions on if a marketing person was allowed to put a QR code on their box or not. And really, what they needed to know was is it going to go to content that's going to be helpful? Is it actually going to drive interaction with our customers and us? And 9 times out of 10, it didn't. So,
I never use those things anyway. Like I've always had to like download the app to use it for something that I never really wanted to use anyway. I actually just used one like maybe 8 months ago. There's like a there's like a Buddhism facility near my house, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna go check that out. And they're never open, but they do have a QR code on the door, and I was like, what the fuck is this all about? Like, just give me your website or your number, But it was a QR code, so
so 8 months ago, you downloaded a QR code reader.
yeah.
Okay, you know that the camera in your phone now has that built in. So our phones have just now caught up to the technology of using a QR code, and nobody wants to use it anymore
Yeah.
because it's no fun.
Yeah, nobody's ever. No, I'm not using that thing. All right, cool. So I mean, that's cool. So you went to art school. You got your degree in graphic design. You started making T-shirts and Justin Bieber's and blenders, and you let people know, hey, I want to learn more about this. So it seems like you know how to position yourself, and you've like, you know, taken initiative to get there. So because I'm trying to just follow along with your story and like how you found yourself in each of those positions or how you got there.
Well, a
Because
lot.
you're so for those who are you are watching or listening and don't know, we're currently in Norfolk, Virginia, and she's talking about how she came from South Florida to here. So I'm putting it together.
Well, I mean, I grew up in Virginia Beach in the Norfolk area, went to DC, then went down to Florida, and then settled there after school. Um, But the best way to advance in your career is to ask the questions, tell the person above you that you're really interested in something, and then invite yourself to the meeting. Because if you just show up and you sit down in the back with a notebook taking notes, they're not going to kick you out.
unless
And
they want you to be doing something else.
yeah, but they most bosses and organizations appreciate the initiative to get up and be a part of it.
Yeah. All right, cool. Awesome. So now you're the business launch ninja, huh? Like I don't understand. How did you go from making JBs and I don't know, I was trying to find something that rhymed, but like how did you make Justin Bieber's and blenders and toys to now you're the business launch ninja? How did this transition happen?
Essentially around the Justin Bieber time, I was working on another product where at that toy company where they decided that they needed a website. And someone walked up to me and said, "Okay, you just redesigned their entire look, their logo, their packaging, their everything. You've created the strategy, you've created a relationship with these inventors, and they need an e-commerce website. How do you feel about working with them offsite? Because our company doesn't want to pay for it, but you seem to have this relationship, and we would be okay with you helping this company launch and be bigger and be on an international scale." That company's called Shoulder Buddies, and I did take on the project. So about that time is when I started to see that you need all facets to launch a company: your logo, your business card, your packaging, your patent rights, your legal things, your e-commerce website, which needs your taxes to be set up properly. I saw how big the process was, and I really appreciated the entire process.
Yeah, like if you're in business or if you're trying to get into business or if you're, watching a lot of Gary Vee videos or even some of my videos and you're trying to put the pieces together, like there's a lot that goes into like everything, and it's not just like website, like there's a lot that goes into website, there's a lot that go into just starting and scaling your business. And from what I learned, because when I got out of the Navy after being a Navy diver for 7 years and teaching submarine escape and doing like information exchange in Central America, which was super cool, I got into real estate because I was like, okay, real estate, we all need some place to live. There's always an opportunity. My success is solely up to me. Whether I want to make a lot of money or a little money, or if anything happens, it's all on me. And as I got deeper into real estate, I'm like, okay, I need to get my license, or I need to get the education or the training, just like you did.
Yep.
So I need to pass the exam, get licensed. Now I need to find a place to work. And then I got to start working. What goes into that? I got to get business cards. I got to get my websites. I got to learn how to market myself, communicate, advertise, create business, add value, incentives. And then also, that's just like the operation on the real estate side. If I want to protect myself as an individual and protect my business assets, I have to become like an LLC or a corporation, or to get my legal disclaimers and
Mm-hmm.
waivers and um, NDAs,
Oh my
non-disclosures, and
goodness,
for you and
huge
stuff like that.
deal.
So there's a lot of things that go into a business, and I'm not saying that you can't be successful without some of these things, but you're missing a huge pillar of your business that is going to reinforce itself. And that's one of the things that I do is, I've made this transition out of real estate. I still have a couple of rental properties, and I'm still with EXP Realty because the company's amazing, and I still plan on doing real estate part-time, helping people who want to work with me. However, I realized that, okay, you're in graphic design and I need a business card or a new logo for my real estate, I got to contact a graphic design artist. So I started dating one, I just get the service for free. No, I'm joking.
So much more than a graphic designer, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure that he knew that at first.
No, 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 not actually. No. Well, that's a different video about how we met and how this power couple began. But what I'm trying to shine light on is that I realized that there's a lot of industries out there that are required to run and operate a successful business, and a lot of these companies out there, whether they have the affiliate links or they have referral partners, or if they're network marketing or whatever the case, there's companies out there that have a business model within themselves to help and
Mm-hmm.
grow their own business and give people an opportunity for whatever it is that they're searching for. So why not implement those into my business? I'm already practicing my passion or whatever it is that you're doing. And if I need legal resources, if I need graphic design work, if I need self-development training or just anything that I need within my business, I'm going to try to find an opportunity to make income at the same time so it reinforces my business model and generates more income, creating multiple streams of residual passive income. Once you
Royalties, huge deal
royalties,
in
yeah,
toys.
royalties,
That's why
yeah.
Justin Bieber made money off of the dolls. Every time we sold a doll, every time someone heard his voice, he got paid.
It's all about positioning yourself. It's all about seeing where you can position yourself today so you can take advantage of these tools or skills or the position that you're in down the road. Like, for example, when I was teaching submarine escape, I was going to school for Southern Illinois, or going for to school for workforce education development at Southern Illinois University. But at the time, I'm like, I'm just going to go to college while I'm here in the Navy, get my degree. It goes in line with becoming a master training specialist, which is like curriculum design, training gap analysis, adult education. All of a sudden, 9 years later, when I first got into real estate, I'm like, okay, personal development is a serious thing. I was starting to dabble in that when I was getting out of the Navy. I was like, this is a very serious thing. And I could do that. I can be on stage and tell my story and help people win and learn from my experiences and share tools and strategies that are going to help you become successful, because those who want to become successful are actively looking for that anyway. They're looking for all that. And a lot of this stuff has been around for thousands of years, but as technology grows and changes, that's going to change all the games. So if you're watching this video right now, we are on the forefront of what the future is going to be like, because of this huge transition between, the 90s and now that's 2020. It's, we are on the forefront of technology and where we're going to go. So, like, jump on this train before people think it's too late to get on YouTube. YouTube is on a huge educational mission right now, especially with the janitor who just became a
Yeah, YouTube
physicist.
University. Oh my
Yeah, they
goodness.
just launched that the other night. They were telling this man's Goodwill Hunting story about how this guy became a janitor, and then he became a physicist through watching YouTube videos, and now he's they're blasting it everywhere, and it's good for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here.
I learned how
Anyway.
to shovel snow off of YouTube.
Yeah, use those legs. So okay, great. So go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. So I mean, like, that's just one part of my story. I was there. I've been at a lot of other companies, but what I've seen in my growth in being an employee is that if I'm really interested in something, then I will search it out. So with that, I've owned my own company since about the Justin Bieber days, and I've reached out to people to learn more. So I was volunteering at Loggerhead Marine Life Center, and while I was there, they understood that I was really interested in packaging. Well, someone they knew owned a packaging company in Miami, and they asked, would you be interested in helping them? I was like, well, sure. So I go and I talk to them, and they say, all right, well, we'd love to have you on. We'd love to have you for design. We'd love to have you to help with marketing, to build catalogs, to go to trade shows, and we'll teach you everything you want to know about corrugate packaging. I'm like,
Wow,
cool.
trade shows. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I love trade shows. Trade shows are great, especially the ones where you get to eat the whole time. But anyway, so I went there and they said, okay, we'll pay you weekly. We need you about 20 hours a week. I was like, fine. They're like, well, how much? I'm like, well, $700 a week. That's what I want. And they're like, okay. And that was fine. And at the time, that's like an extra 40 grand a year. It was supposed to be a 6-week project. It lasted 6 or 7 months before
Wow.
I went full time with
Hey,
them.
back up.
So around that time, I bought a house and I remodeled a kitchen.
Nice. And
So
sold it for a profit.
I did for a big profit, and then from there I've been investing further. But because I keep getting put in these situations where people want my help because they see, oh, she's a designer, and then once they start speaking to me, they understand that not only am I a designer, but I have a marketing background. Because my first college, I was an advertising major and a graphic design minor. So
Okay.
I continue to build. I read a lot of the books. I ended up being the valedictorian in my college because I can see everything in a.
That's Ruka.
That's Ruka. She's adorable. But I can see the big picture, where a lot of times you have a CEO or a CFO and they're really good at what they do because they understand product, or they understand marketing, or they understand the legal part of it, or they understand licensing. I have been able to sort out, and through osmosis, because I keep inviting myself to all of these meetings, I understand how licensing, marketing, the CFO, I understand how all of that is. I understand that you need patents and trademarks and HR documents and NDAs, and how important it is that if you're working on The Hobbit, that the director knows that you aren't sharing that information or leaking something 2 years in advance. Like, we got all the way through designing an Azog figure that was supposed to go to Comic-Con, and we've got it. We've got the sample in house, the packaging, everything's done. And then the director, I think it was Abrams, J.J. Abrams or something, was like, no, Azog totally changed, doesn't look like that anymore. So we have like 300 of a one of a kind doll because somebody else changed their mind. And that person that changed their mind didn't realize that they just ripple affected all of these timelines. So I mean, we had to redo the packaging. We had to wait 160 days for the new doll to get done, for the new packaging to get printed, for the doll and the packaging to be put together at the factory, and
Back
then
up.
for them to be shipped from China all the way to our offices in Boca Raton,
Okay, so
and
why are
then
you
to
telling us this?
California. I'm telling you because it's really important that you have someone working with you, and that your higher ups at your company understand the entire scope of what's going on. A lot of people don't get that. And because I do get that, I can help smaller companies launch.
Okay, so that's your mission now.
It is. It's what I'm passionate about. It's what's really important to me. I really get a kick out of it, and it's served me well. And I really want to help people bring their ideas to life.
Okay, so how do you do that?
A lot of times it starts with a consultation, and I let them know, do they need a website? Do they not need a website? I
You
in
know, I'm so glad that you mentioned that because I just saw someone in a veteran business group asking for a website, and I was like, "Yo, if cost is a concern, don't even worry about getting a website. Just use your Facebook page, bring consistent value of what you're doing to people, develop your warm market and your brand, and then when you have the funds together, then do it. Or else you're just going to be doing it half-assed, and then you're going to have to do rework, and then it's just going to be more work down the road.
Well, of
You know, how,
course.
how, do, how does someone all right, gang. Sorry about that. We ran out of phone storage because we're doing it from the phone in the bedroom. 2020 versatile, fucking making business dominance legacies from a cell phone. Who knew? You know what I mean? People in 1995 did not know we would be doing. You doing what? So we're doing it.
It's being scrappy.
Um, so tuning back in, we were just talking about identifying new business people who have a great idea that want to monetize their passion or launch some new business and how you help them. And we were talking about
Whether or not they needed a website.
whether or not they needed a website. And can you go into detail whether or not or why someone would need a website or when someone needs a website?
Yes, I can. So, depending on what kind of company you have, um, and what you're doing with it is when you need a website or not. So,
When you
for,
say company, do you mean like vision? Like, so who I speak to, the audience, these aren't corporations or well established companies. These are people, either trying to scale their existing business from whatever they learned from watching Gary Vee or my YouTube videos or whatever, or people trying to, you know, get on their feet and start doing something that they love and they're passionate about. So, what do you mean by that business?
so let's just start from scratch. Say you're a realtor. Okay? Does a realtor need a website?
No.
Sometimes, but not all the time. And a lot of times, all they need is a robust social media presence. They need, or they could utilize the websites that come with their brokerages, like what EXP has. They give you everything. They give you business card templates and websites that you can utilize. They give you signs that you can just order.
I'm glad
There's
that you mentioned that because when I said no, I was like, oh, wait, my brokerage has everything that I need. Like,
right. So and not everybody's necessarily aware that is available to them. So sometimes my consultation is just like, hey, did you know that you can use all that stuff over there for free, that they made it for you already, and you don't
right,
even need a designer to come in there? And they're
right.
like, oh, well, okay, fine. But say you want to launch um, a t-shirt company. Okay. So from there, it sort of just depends on how you want to do that. Like, you could build hype with social media. You could have a brick and mortar store that you get on to Google Maps, and then through a local guide, have them write a great review with a bunch of videos. And then you could combine the two. And then you wait to do a website until you're ready to sell online. And for instance, if you want to sell a product online, you need to be aware of things like sales tax,
Exus. Oh no, Nexus, not Exus.
Nexus. You
Nexus.
also need to be aware of shipping costs, and then the logistics that go into that. So, are you ready to start doing that, or do you just want to sell direct, where someone comes in local? I know that everything is e-commerce nowadays, but really it's 50-50. Sometimes you're buying something off the internet, and sometimes you want to walk into a store and touch and feel and make sure that that t-shirt is that organic cotton that you think it is, that it actually fits your body. Because sometimes you buy it online, you order that medium, it's actually an extra small.
Yeah, made in China. Or you think it like you said that how you want to feel it. You want to feel the material.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Christmas sweater one year. My Point Break Christmas sweater. It's not
Yes.
even a sweater. It's what material is that?
That is a polyester blend so that they could do a sublimation all over print onto the fabric, which you can't do with 100% cotton. It's just not doable. So, what you ordered, what you love so much, you would not have been able to buy that on cotton. And
Right.
a lot of people who can't walk up to a t shirt and say, hey, this is a performance polyester blend. That is not a cotton shirt, but it's got a screen print on it and a screen print right here. This is a knit.
Right. Right. Awesome. Okay. Cool. So why don't you walk me through a consultation? Okay. So we covered how we covered your backstory of how you went to call a couple different colleges, you moved around, you got into product making and development, how helping larger toy companies or just larger companies start from sketch to shelf. You
Yeah,
help them design their idea, create their baby, actually build it, test it, market it, campaign it, sell it, track it,
yeah.
analyze it, and do it all over. So now you're focusing on being the business launch ninja. How did you get into be like cuz you were just talking about working for companies. Are you still like what's your company name? How are you the business launch ninja and what's a consultation like? I know it's a few different questions I'm kind of asking you,
Yes, so
but
let me clarify a little bit. So when I worked for larger companies, which I worked for more than we mentioned here, but I helped them launch a product line, not a business from scratch. Whenever you launch a product line, it takes everything that you're going to go through to launch a business from scratch, but just a particular product within a larger umbrella. So with that, I've been able to see it, and I've been able to ask questions of leading people in the industry of a couple of different industries, because that's I moved around to get the experience, right? Um,
that's a
so
great idea.
I mean, I didn't know that I was doing it when I did it. I just was a really curious person, and everybody kept asking, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" Well, everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know what consumer products was
I
until
want
later.
it all
Yeah.
and I want it now.
um, so, we covered that part. But if I am going to have a consultation with someone, so there's a woman I met recently who does painting classes. So you pay her $60, you get a free beer. She teaches you how to paint something that's amazing and they're beautiful every single time. Well, I thought that she was great. So I approached her and started asking her questions about how she does it and how she's getting things done and all and that sort of thing. So I started the consultation. Um, and for my company, let me just backtrack a little bit. It's called Partner with a Spark. It was called Circle Square Designs for a long time, but I am branching out of just designing, and I really want to focus on helping people launch. Sometimes people come to me. Sometimes people are recommended to me because other people have worked with me in the past, and sometimes I just walk up to people because I think they're really interesting. So that leads me back into this woman. Her name is Nez Nelson. She owns Nez Life Studios, and she's a fluid artist.
Paint
Um,
pouring.
Paint pouring. And Jackson Pollock was a fluid artist, if we're just gonna put it back to places that are in, like, the MoMA in New York. Um, Anyhow, I thought that her class was really great. I thought that her story was really great. So I started chit chatting with her and found out that she is a wounded warrior supporter because she's a veteran. She does the paint pouring because it helps with her PTSD, and she just kind of gets through. So again, it's just a great story. So that compelled me.
She's a great person too. Look her up on Instagram, Neslife Studios. She's always teaching people how to do paint pouring, and she's an incredible human being. She's very grounded and very into you and your success and helping you win and just sharing it. She's a great person. We have our own little mastermind
Yeah.
sometimes. She's awesome. Okay, great. So you love her and what she's doing, her cause. So what did that consultation, or what would someone else's consultation look like? Walk us through it.
Well, okay, so I start to ask them about their passions. I start to ask them what they're doing with their businesses currently. And what I found out from her is that she is kicking ass on social media. Her Instagram, her Twitter, really going well. Her father helps her with her Twitter, and he actually got it so that she met Trump in person. Like, what the fuck? That's really cool. And her Instagram followers, she's got like 23,000 followers. She is an influencer with deco art, and they send her free paint all of the time. So in this consultation, like I'm hearing, her social media on point, her Facebook store not, her website okay, her um, ability to plan a lot of events in the future and make sure that people get there. It wasn't quite going the way that she wanted to in the beginning. It took a little bit to start up. Now she sells out all the time. And at one point, she was selling a lot of things on her website, and then that kind of dropped off. So I was like, okay, well, what can we do with that? And from there, she ended up being someone who needed to build up her Facebook and get a new e-commerce website. And in that consultation, sort of, okay, well, what are you going to do on the e-commerce website? How much do you want to incorporate it with your social media, which should be everything? So we picked the correct platform for her, and I didn't end up executing on any of these things for her, but we just had the consultation because I thought she was great, and I made her a new logo and we traded some artwork. But I gave her the groundwork to get going, and it had been a couple months since I had talked to her. I just checked in with her about a week ago, and she has another person building her e-commerce website. They're about ready to launch. We went over it. She asked me to help her with some things, and now I'm helping her write pitches and business plans to more people that she wants to work with to grow and scale her business in a big way. So sometimes the consultation is just a consultation with and then sometimes it's executing, and sometimes I'm following up again to help them build more.
So essentially, what a consultation is just a conversation to see what their business is, what they're doing, and where they want to go.
Their needs at
And
that
then,
time.
and then you can just share based off of your experience what would work for them and whether or not they're okay with it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So after the consultation, what is it that you do? Like, how do you, so you're the business launch ninja. What is it after the consultation, like outside of, because what you just said was you had a conversation with this person. Let's take Nez out of the scenario. Let's take someone who's not an artist,
Sure.
Let's take someone who's trying to start their own thing, doing whatever it is. How is it that you would help them after the consultation? So we have online platforms, social media marketing. Like, please help me.
Okay. So sometimes we get to a point with a client and they have everything set up, but now what they want is to incorporate their business, or they're looking for a patent or NDA paperwork because they want to branch out and they want to tell people about what they're doing, but they don't want anybody to steal their idea, which happens all of the time. You could partner with an event space, you could partner with another person that's a piece of your product line, and they end up stealing what you were working on, and they just kind of go for it. Well, if you don't have the right paperwork, the right legal documents to back you up and be able to fight and say, hey man, what the fuck, why are you stealing what I've got going on? Like why did you just take this for yourself? We were supposed to be partners. And a lot of times that's a big issue. So um with that, I have partnered with some other companies to help, and some other lawyers and things that I've met to help get all those documents together. So in the past, I've needed lawyers for all types of things that I just told you about. And I have family members like, man, why do you have lawyers all of the time? I'm like, whoa, I'm not out there suing people. I'm writing documentation. I'm getting these NDAs. I'm getting these contracts. Contracts are huge. I'm setting up LLCs or INCs, and those laws change all the time. So it's important that you have the right people to reach out to.
So essentially, in addition to your product and business launching experience, you've also identified resources and partnerships or relationships to complement what it is that you're doing and share that with your prospects and clients to help grow and scale their business, is what you're saying.
well, absolutely, because you can't do everything yourself.
Right.
Like to
Nor should you.
no.
The CEO or the owner of your company or of a huge company is not in the mail room. They're not checking email. They have an assistant or a mail person
Yep.
or a social media person. Like the idea here in business is, to do whatever you got to do to launch your passion and monetize your passion, but implement systems as soon as you possible, whether it's a virtual assistant, an
Yep.
in-person assistant, a teammate,
An
managers, an
accountant.
accountant, a
Oh my goodness.
CPA,
Yes.
lawyers, all these people. There's so many pieces and moving parts to a business, to a successful business that you need, and you really can't short any of those things, or else do you if you've ever heard of like piercing the veil, if you're running a business as yourself
Huge
and
deal.
you have a huge issue and someone sues you, the attorney or the judge can be like, all right, are you operating as a business or yourself? And then that can put your personal assets and future income in jeopardy versus just losing a business. And it takes a lot of time to like get the momentum going, but you can start a business like that. You pay the fees, you get the documents ready, and then essentially you're an established LLC or escrow or whatever it is that you want, and you can start all over again. But man, if you lose your personal credit and your personal house and your personal money, future money
Well, and you're
coming in, your
skipping a step
income.
there, because if you set up your LLC or your INC and you that kind of thing, you also have to set up your bank account
Yep.
correctly,
Yeah.
and that's a huge deal. And I'm also able to help with that because I've done that correctly and I've done
Mm.
that wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but that's part of a consultation, but that's generally like a third or fourth conversation because people aren't trying to tell me how their banks look from right there. But I can definitely that it's just such a huge deal because
I
here's an
think I
issue.
think you should say everything right up front, or else how are you going to help them as a professional? When I, as a real estate professional, sitting there with someone, it's like, what are your current goals? What do you want in a house? What do you think you want? What don't you want? What neighborhood? Like, okay, what do you think? You know what I mean? And just going deep. How much money do you have? Wait. You haven't talked to anybody about how much money you have, or how much you're qualified for? Do you have any cash and savings? Are you going to talk to a bank? Because as a real estate professional, we're not going to go shopping if you don't have your wallet on you. Like you got to have your wallet on you if you're going to go shopping, no matter where it is. It's the same thing with a house. You're not going to be looking at $200,000 houses if your credit's bad and you're actually not able to buy a house. Or if you are able to buy a house, you're not going to be looking to buy that $1 million house. This isn't one of those shows on HGTV. They're like, oh, how much do you think this house is worth? It's $1 million. Like, well, then
Yeah.
why are we here? So it's just all that. To me, if you're sitting with a professional to be like, listen, I need help scaling or starting, tell me everything that I need to successfully do that and do it properly, I think it would be more beneficial on both sides, showing your professionalism and clear expertise and ability to help the prospective client, because nothing is worse than getting 8 steps in and realizing that you have to go back to step 3 and then change all the other
And I agree with
steps.
that 100%. But depending on where you are with your product launch or your business start, you might not be there yet. Sometimes you
Right.
just need help.
But that would be coming up in the consultation where that is identified, where you are identified where you're at through the consultation by
Yes,
saying what you have been doing up until this point and now you need help. That stuff will come out.
absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It might be the third or fourth conversation sometimes as we get in, depending on where you're at. Because some people have already established, and some people are truly starting from scratch, and all they have is an idea. And I'm like, okay, cool. Do you want? How big do you want this to be? Do you want to sell 10? Do you want to sell 100,000 of this? And that's when we start out. Because if you only want to sell 10, you don't necessarily need to have an LLC and a bank account and a website. You could just post it on Etsy
Yeah.
and see what happens. You could just stand on the corner and be like, "This is my T-shirt, World War III," like
Yeah.
whatever, and that's it. Like well, I mean, don't just sell T-shirts on corners of streets. That's panhandling, and you might need a license for that as well. And just I don't want to be telling people that you can do that because I know for a fact that that's not always applicable. Um, for instance, I was helping somebody launch a t-shirt company, and I was like, cool, we're gonna go to South by Southwest, and we're gonna have like 10 people, we're gonna have a bunch of shirts in our book bags, and everybody's gonna wear a different shirt, and we're just gonna sell them right out of the book bag. So I called South by Southwest, and I called the city of Austin and said, hey, what are your panhandling laws? Like, is this okay? Can I do this? And a lot of people are like, just do it and ask for forgiveness later. Well, that was not what I wanted to do. I do not look forward to ever being in a Texas jail. That's
Yeah.
just no good. So in doing that, I reached out to South by Southwest, and the coordinator let me know that they had an opening. They were starting a new section of the retail space, and that this would be the first year that they were doing it. And they had 10 spaces open, and for me to just submit the products. Well, they let us in. I got the trade show booth for like $1,000, and we did the best space. And we were able to launch a product line at South by Southwest. We were gonna do it out of book bags. We ended up doing it next to a stage, just because I happened to ask the right questions.
Awesome. So what's your mission right now? What do you want to do? What are your goals in life?
Right now, it's really important to me that I get to use my skills for people who appreciate them. So I'm really looking for consulting gigs. Like, I want to sign up and work with you for 6 months, a year, 2 years. I want to set you up so that you either still want me or don't necessarily need me anymore. And I want to move on and help another person grow and scale.
Okay, awesome. Where can they find you?
They can find me as Luminous Spark on Instagram. So at
We'll have
Luminous
the links
Spark.
below.
Yep, we'll put it there.
Yep.
I don't have a website because I don't necessarily need one because I get a lot of my referrals via word of mouth and now YouTube and
Facebook groups.
yeah.
Awesome. All right, great. So who are you looking for?
I'm looking for cus or eager companies that are either launching a new product or wanting to just get off the ground.
Okay. So if someone's trying to start their own business and turn their side hustle into a business, is that something that you'd be interested in helping?
Absolutely.
If a company's been around for 4 years and they're kind of making money or they're making enough money, but they really are looking for that special ingredient to either save and or make more money, are you looking for them?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Is there anybody who you're not looking for?
I am not looking for someone who doesn't want to listen. Call me because you want to have a conversation, because you want to hear all sides of the story. Don't call me if you only care about one segment of your business. I want to help you globally across all of your internal departments make sure that everything that you're hitting makes sense, that your marketing, that your sales, that your accounting, that everything, your e-commerce, that everything works together and you get the most bang for your buck.
Awesome. Great. So you heard it, everybody. Nicole Howell, aka Luminous Spark. You want to partner with the Spark. She's essentially here to help everybody who's coachable and looking for that experienced professional to help launch and scale your business. She is the business launch ninja. You can find that. We'll have all the links down below if you're watching or listening to this on YouTube. If you're on anchor.fm, we'll put the links in there as well. But essentially, just go on Instagram, look up me. I'll be tagging her, or contact me.
Yes, go through him. He can be my filter.
Yes. Contact me and I'll hook you up with her. We are together a lot and we are pretty much partners in crime. We are really excited for 2020 and I'm really excited to see your success and how many people you help. There's a lot of potential here.
Thank you.
And so my name is Robert LaFrance. I'm here with Nicole Howell. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. We'll probably have you back on before. You'll be seeing a lot more of her. And they say that courage is contagious and the rising tide lifts all ships. So help me, help you,
help your friends.
Thank you. Take care.